Hey tribe, how are you? I wanted to base this share on Julia's question and comment about feeling into our tribe or, ending up living in places where we might feel like people we really don't resonate with people. And I mean, a few things came in for me, like, yeah, that is so much a part of sharing and putting it out there because I feel that part of our kind of changing world or changing realities is it does that. It sort of feels like it completely isolates us and alienates us and that's part of our that leads us to asking questions. It leads us down different rabbit holes and every every little kind of, I guess you could say, rabbit hole we go down is an aspect of our own self discovery in feeling our way home. And more and more, I can honestly say that every single encounter is a tribe member. It is actually kind of astounding to me. Like every shop I'm guided into, every cafe I'm guided into, every bookstore, random things that are way beyond my kind of rational mind and end up having a conversation with somebody or for some reason I'm guided to say something and every encounter on some level is aligned with what I'm doing or what All to Love is doing and for me that new reality, that kind of tribal reality is really manifesting. And yet, 15 years ago leaving Canada, for me that was a huge part of why I left, was that I didn't feel at home where I was supposed to feel at home. I didn't feel like I belonged. And and there's been a real journey of feeling into that. And the deeper I go into the recognition that my home is inside, and the more I'm living in that space, again, the more every single encounter really is aligned to a feeling of familiarity, a feeling of at homeness with these people. And yet, it wasn't always the case. And as we deepen our emotional connection, what we're observing is like aspects of our old self, and so we're sometimes seeing disparity there. And again, because we're in such heightened times and in a phase of kind of completion, the crossover is that we're like mourning loss and like grieving letting go and really shape shifting our reality, opening up to potential, opening up to different types of reality, which is helping us shed that one. And yet it keeps new things keep shape shifting, right? And so we can often be doing all this work and very suddenly it's like, whoa, am I even where I'm meant to be? And those are really worthy questions to be asking, because just because, like, I wouldn't be here today if I had just kept pursuing the acting career because everyone around me told me to. I just knew deep down it's something didn't feel right. I wasn't happy, I wasn't joyful. And it really has taken all these years to kind of unravel all these external imprints and all these external conditions and this people pleasing and this, this judgment and this fear limitation to just be at home. And I feel you guys in a very real way, because it's not quite the same. We want people around us, and yet we want people we resonate with. We want people that we can feel completely at home with. And so really we can yoke the disparity of where we're missing that or where we're feeling like, and meditate with that stuff. Really drop in, ask questions. Why am I here? Is there a purpose here? Is there somewhere else I'm meant to go? Is this temporary? Is this, like, we so are programmed to not give ourselves the power that we are, and yet we are. And so the more we just totally own our creatorship, we can really open up to decisiveness, to a kind of feeling of accurateness, knowing that you're making the right choice because you just know how good it feels. And yet, knowing that the more we take those leaps, you could almost say the more kind of dynamic life becomes, but at the same time, we're grounded in our presence to hold space for that dynamism. And so making changes, it's not as frightening, but rather more exciting for us because we know it's leading us to a greater expansive life or a greater abundant life. And it will often hit up against our maybe a belief system of this is how life is supposed to go. And all I can say is when we're doing this inner work, the whole nature of what we thought the reality that we were chasing, what we thought that was going to look like, that can often just dissolve. Because, and you bearing in mind that reality dissolves, but it's because if we really are opening up to better feelings, more love, more compassion, more peace, trust, faith, experiences and realities drop into us that continue to guide us into that feeling state, making it easier to let go of the other, and or making it easier to allow new things to come in. And it's when those new things start to come in that you're like, okay, I'm going to keep following this direction. And then our discernment gets better. But I think across the board, I so resonate with like, where are my people? And it's been droplets, you guys coming into my life at different trajectories. Even weirdly, as people leave, sometimes your tribe gets better. And that's something to really honor, that for a lot of us, I dare say, like, our tribes are just us and a few other people, our families, and then maybe a couple other really good friends. But indeed, we do desire that connection in a social aspect. And in all honesty, what I'm really sensing is that like this tribe, we're all over the world basically, and part of our endeavoring this fearlessness means that we're sort of leading the way as such. We're kind of pioneering a new way of being for our tribe. And so I would say, like, yes, we are like tribal leaders who support one another in our pioneering energy. And then each and every one of us has our own tribe, has our inner circle, I call it sometimes, like the people that we can just be ourselves with and that we can communicate with and just trust infinitely. And the juice is that all that stuff comes from inside. All that, those connections ultimately are reflections of our deeper work and our deeper connection. And the more we focus in, the more we just allow, right? And so we allow the right people, the resonant people to come into our lives. And what I'm observing is that the more we do this as well, like we just don't come across the other. We just don't bump up against the energies that don't align with us, or the energies that might make us feel like that alien, or might make us feel not a part of it. Because really we're looking for that feeling of home. We're desiring that feeling of just connectedness always. And the juice, guys, is that what I'm just getting out is that there's a mass disconnection, there's mass enslavement, we can honor that as we observe. And why we do this is that we're observing that outside and saying we need to stay connected. And so, yeah, the more connected we feel, the more apparent it is that our like brothers and sisters on the planet are not connected. And if that's triggering us, we want to withdraw and work through that and imagine more people connected. Imagine the people aligned. Imagine how our social circle feels. Imagine how our tribe feels. Imagine the kind of things that we're doing. Imagine just how fun it could be and how supported we are and how peaceful and wonderful and loving. It's milking that. It's yoking that ability from within ourselves to just be that loving connection that we desire to see, and be I know it's like a tough word, but be ruthless with what energies you tolerate and making excuses. And if it just doesn't resonate, let it go. Trust. Say it's not quite that. There's something more connected. There's something more for me. There's something more, and that's what keeps us going and learning to lead us into that ever abundance and that kind of increasing flow and increasing joy for life. And then the more we're in that joy for life, the more it just kind of grows exponentially from there. And it is tangible and undeniable. We tap into it when we really start doing that emotional work. And then it's really just kind of staying diligent with it, practicing it, and myself as well. So I'm glad to offer a little something there. It's a juicy nugget, it really is, because that whole loneliness, spiritual awakening is a piece for so many. So thank you so much, Julia, for sharing that. And hopefully we can kind of spark some reflections that will assist us to continue to move beyond that and really, really kind of drop into our belongingness and our groundedness and hold space for our tribe and our people, really. Okay, thanks you guys. I hope that was useful to you. Please feel free to either comment and share right here at YouTube or on the tribe page on Facebook. Or of course, for those of you who are signed up via email, just respond via email and I'm happy to read it and respond if necessary. So love you guys loads and have a great day. Peace out.